Hello, everyone. Welcome again to another episode of Sally the Votes, where we come and talk about what's happened this last week in Big Brother and talk about all the things we saw. And we'll tell you about the things that you might not have saw or seen. You know what I mean? Anyway, before we start, our good friend David wanted to has something for us. We're
Well, I
wearing
just I
Penzino's
just
here,
wanted to
waiting to
say
see.
I just wanted to say that I'm sitting down here in South Florida in near Boca Raton, and we happen to be very safe at this moment. And there's a lot of people right as we're talking that aren't safe. And I just want to say that with that going on, we had a week of Big Brother. We got a lot to talk about, but I just want to say that's absolutely on my mind as we're sitting talking about this because it's going to be a major disaster.
Yes,
And it's
it
just
is.
very, very sad.
Right,
I did
right
read.
in the Big Bend.
Yep, I did
Right.
read that there's
They're
a
saying 9 foot
un,
storm surge already, like
unsurvivable.
in Fort Myers.
Yeah.
And so, I just want to say, we're gonna talk about the episode. It's double eviction night. It's the best night of the year, other than
And it
maybe
was a good one.
fantasy football draft night, which for a guy is sacred. But this is the second best night of the year.
I
Well,
will say, though, from experience, I do know that the state of Florida is very prepared. They usually run lots of things, and I'm sure they will have gotten people to safety. That's our hopes. It's there.
Yep.
People
Yep.
chose to evacuate.
I didn't mean to be a big
Okay.
bummer at the
No,
beginning,
no,
but I
no.
just
You're no,
wanted
you're
to say it.
absolutely right, though. Yeah, it's happening right now. So everybody, hold on to your hats. So double eviction week, guys, and I really did find myself this week rooting for Angela because I love an underdog
yep.
and I love a comeback story. And so when you see someone in jeopardy and you go like, "Oh, but maybe they can pull it out of their hat." I thought it might have happened. What about you guys?
I For me, it's not feeling like Angela's the underdog because I do love an underdog story. For me, it was. I enjoy the revenge on stupid gameplay. So I'm just like, I did find myself rooting for her a little bit because Mackenzie's HOH was a hot mess. And you know what? Leah, unfortunately, her HOH, the decision she made in HOH lent into Mackenzie's. This week became T-Core's revenge. So,
I'm not buying that.
I
you're
don't
not
either.
buying what? That it's T-Core's revenge?
It's
Both
not T
Leah.
Core's revenge. It's Mackenzie's an idiot.
Well, Mackenzie is an idiot. I'm not saying T Core did this. I'm saying it's her revenge. Leah's gone. Angela's gone. They're the
But
ones
Yeah.
who
one
took
does
it out
not
for.
one does not flow from the other in any way, shape, or
Well,
form.
except for Leah and Angela, the ones who really flipped and pushed for T Core to go. So yes, actually,
But T
it's
Core
T-Core's
going,
revenge.
okay, well, we'll talk about it, but I'm
It's
not
her
buying
revenge,
it.
David. David.
It's not anyone's revenge.
She got
I
voted out because of their actions, and now they're going to the jury house to revenge.
They're going to the jury house because MJ can't see the writing on the wall. Although I have to say, with the second eviction, she didn't seem as stupid as she seemed going into the first.
I thought that, and then by the day two, I very quickly realized that the best terminology I saw that explained her week as an HOH was on Twitter, and somebody said, Mackenzie playing Big Brother is kind of like when your little sibling is playing Nintendo but doesn't realize you've had the controller unplugged the entire time.
That's
Ooh, I used to
you
do
know
that to my
that's
kids.
it's not
Funny
on
boys.
it's not unfair, but I was really critical of what Mackenzie was doing all week, and the fact that she decided to go after Lee, which seemed unnecessary to me, right? Which it would seem like Angela was the easy vote out, and Lee was never going to put her up, so why go there? So she does that, which I thought was monumentally stupid, right? Lee goes home. Chelsea wins HOH. Now, if Chelsea was the cutthroat I thought she was,
Hmm.
the play is to put MJ up
I agree.
because MJ can win out.
Yeah, I'm not
And
sure
she
why.
didn't do it. And so it sort of validated MJ's play in the first half, if that makes sense.
Here's
Yeah.
okay. It's a really tangled weave of 3 weeks. Honestly, it truly is because
Oh, it has nothing to do with the T-Core thing.
because we don't have a solid set of real gamers and strategy users in this house.
Mm-mm.
So
True that.
it's been sloppy since the first week. But the last 2 weeks have played out really weird because you have Leah, who really went against her own best interest when she was HOH, and she ended up losing her biggest alliance members. Luckily, and that was on her own HOH. Luckily, Angela stuck by her. So she thought, okay, she had a little bit of safety there. But we talked about it multiple times, and I'm so glad they showed it tonight on their reels, where it's the thing is that Leah wasn't paying attention to is that there was a trio, but it was a trio that would have worked with her because she was being controlled by Chelsea and not paying attention to the trio she should have been paying attention to. And then in walks Mackenzie, and in comes Chelsea, pulls the strings again, and Mackenzie isn't paying attention to the people she should be paying attention to. The fact that Chelsea did not put Mackenzie up tonight actually came as a huge shock to me, but Angela, it wasn't, because this whole week they started to figure it out. Oh crap. She could actually win, couldn't she?
No.
That's
No one
literally
thought
the
that.
conversations.
They literally said
yeah.
at one point, Cam's like, no one's voting for her.
At one point.
No one's voting for him.
But all
Newsflash.
Well, probably not.
But
Sorry,
all
Cam.
It's been stirring. And another thing that's been coming in is production notes. As soon as we got the zing about how there's no possible way Angela could win, they all started talking about it because production.
Thanks a lot, Zingbot.
That there, like they said, well, if they're talking about it, does that mean she could? So, and on top of it, they really get annoyed by her. So she could win, and she's annoying to live with.
And we've dealt with this for nothing. We did it to ourselves.
Yeah, now she's got to go. So that's not a surprise to have Angela, but no Mackenzie, that surprised me.
That
was very magical.
Very magical.
I heard the magic sound, and then I walked.
It did sound like some sort of Harry Potter chime, but it's not.
Amazing.
And then he disappeared. It was like he had his invisibility cloak.
Yep. It's a busy day at the office. It's okay.
I guess so. My thing.
We have a house phone that rings like once a year. That was it.
That was it. All right. Well, still works. My thing with now in hindsight, looking back at Leah's HOH, is that her entire HOH, she kept saying, everybody's afraid to make a move. I'm going to make the move. I'm going to make a move. I'm going to do something. I'm going to do something. And to her credit, she did. Versus other HOHs that have been so kind of like, she just did it and without. But okay, so now what does that tell people or future players? That if you make the move, then the next week you're out, right? I mean,
I think anybody who's honestly watching the game isn't going to take that away from it, because I don't think there's.
I hope not.
That I personally haven't seen any traction where any fan of the show watching it thinks that any of these people know what the heck they're doing.
Okay, good.
And it's okay because people have enjoyed the hot mess of everything. It's not that. It's just like these guys are so messy they don't know what they're doing.
But I still have to differ with you, Jamie. Breaking up the Chemo, Rabina, T-Core was the move. It was absolutely the move. That was the tighter three than the Cam, Mackenzie, Chelsea. It was the smart move. It was, and
for Leah though, was it the smart move? Because where is she right now? And who sent her?
It absolutely was. But MJ played stupidly.
It doesn't.
That's the problem, and you can't listen. You can't count on somebody doing something monumentally dumb. Mackenzie advanced Chelsea's game, not Mackenzie's.
Right. But anyone who was paying attention would have seen that it was Chelsea playing this game. It's
but
not
they
hard.
couldn't. But Leah, when she sent T-Core out, could not have known Mackenzie was going to win or how she would handle her HOH. So, in hindsight, it's interesting to go back and go, well, if she'd have done this, this might have happened. But honestly,
I called it that week. It was the wrong move. I still call it from this
But
week.
still.
And honestly, had T-Core, Rabina, or Chemo won, I'd have been horrified because they're awful players, all of them.
But if T
Not
Core,
not
if
a
we
single
get
one of them deserved a vote.
T-Core's not a
when
terrible player. T-Core had her finger on it, but she's terrible at.
Mm-hmm.
She was terrible at anything challenge
Mm-hmm.
wise.
yeah, she had
Mm-hmm.
the strategy part down.
Mm-hmm.
But when T Core was there,
That's what
she
she
was
did for
telling.
5 weeks.
She's holding her cards close to her chest.
Doing
She
more than
was the one that
jams.
was telling. Chelsea wanted to do what T Core said.
Mm-hmm.
So, given
Yep.
that, Chelsea's less of a threat than T Core if Chelsea's listening to T Core versus the other way around. So, I think that's why I agree with David. They had to break that three first. If you had to pick up which one you're going to break first, you got to break
I
one of
don't feel
them.
like
Those
Chelsea was
three were
doing what
never ever
T-Core
going to
said.
betray each other.
Yeah,
Ever.
I
And
don't feel like
now,
Chelsea was doing what T-Core said, but Chelsea didn't want to lose T-Core because T-Core is somebody she didn't have to push when they had an idea.
Well, they
Like the
also
three
had
of
that
them
little
worked
side
together.
deal going
Right,
that
because
they
the
wouldn't
three of
vote
them
for
had
each
their
other. And
the three of them had an alliance. So they would go, they'd have their separate alliances talk and then come back together and kind of weigh it back and forth. But T-Core strategy, she had it, but she didn't have any sort of gameplay that went outside of it.
so she could make it happen,
So
the
that she
plan.
could
Yeah,
actually
she couldn't
enforce her
control it. Yeah.
strategy. And Chemo and Robina, lovely people. They're not there playing the game
they're
anymore. They're
floaters.
just there.
They're
But
floaters, and T-Core was the floater junior.
Chelsea is, I mean, this game is Chelsea's. Mackenzie's the second biggest threat behind Chelsea, but Chelsea has been controlling Mackenzie for 3 weeks. She controlled Leah. She controlled Mackenzie.
She controls
I
Cam like a puppet.
She doesn't
I
control
think
Zingbot though.
No. No one, let's be honest, nobody controls the Zingbot.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but
he,
the awkward zing was the
was so
funniest
good.
damn thing.
All of the little the zings at the end was like yeah. See?
Awkward zing.
Oh my gosh, yeah, really
And
great.
let's give it up for Big
Zingbot.
Brother for still embracing
Right?
the theme of the season.
And I think this might be the very first time they've had a theme that can be this multifaceted that it can
Oh,
continue
I don't
on.
think so. It's just the first time they've actually just.
I had a thought process on this though.
Okay.
Okay, so the movie for the award that was chosen is
Mhm.
the robot movie.
Wild Robot.
So I'm wondering
Best movie ever.
I'm wondering,
you see it?
know how every year they
No.
get the every
But
year
that's what I've heard.
they get the
Okay.
an award.
Some
It's
screening.
usually some big movie that's coming
Yeah.
out or whatever. But there's some sort of contractual agreement to that, I'm wondering if that didn't sort of like feed the, you know what I mean? Like feed the idea of here's our theme. Like we can follow through all the way.
Maybe. Well, they've done a good job of leaning into certain
And
things.
the set for
They're
that
leaning.
game was so cute and
It was really cute. And they've leaned into the Chenbot thing. They've referenced. They've said
Well, yeah,
that on the show
she's
several
certainly got a
times.
sense of humor about it, doesn't she?
It's working for them. This theme.
yeah, it does.
They've done it right.
And I want to say this about Julie. I give it up for somebody who is the nominal star of the show, right? And the Chenbot is definitely a term of derision, right? It's not exactly because we all love her, right? I cannot imagine Jeff Probst embracing people making fun of him the way she has,
But no,
and
he doesn't
allowed
have a
it to
nickname
become
like
part
that.
of the show.
People just say he sucks. They don't
They don't give him a
he
cool
doesn't have
nickname.
he doesn't have a nickname. He's not like
Cool robot nickname.
because what would it be?
Yeah, see, there's nothing. You can't
Douche on a beach? I don't know what it would
That's
be.
not nearly as fun as Chenbot. I mean, it's not as embraceable by a
No,
lot
but I
of
hear
people.
you. But even if you gave him a name, he wouldn't embrace it. He'd be like, "We're not putting that up, and production's more important than the contestants anyway."
Yeah, maybe he might.
That's
But
what he
guess
would
what?
say.
That's why Julie probably doesn't make quite as much as Jeff. It's like,
Oops.
Well,
that's
she's
your
not the
guy.
executive producer, is she?
No,
Well, it's probably her husband, right?
not anymore.
No, is he
Not
like?
anymore. Not for a few years.
He doesn't produce shows. I mean, I know he's out at the network, but
I don't know. I don't follow that sort of trauma, dude. No way. Keep me out of that. It's enough that I watch all these reality shows. I don't need real
Exactly.
reality. Ew.
and you got to admit, Double Eviction Night is the best reality show
You know,
moment. Is there a better one?
Mm,
I mean, a better 60 minutes of compelling reality show
no.
TV.
It's okay. You know what? I really like Double HOH. It's always very exciting. I think this year it wasn't as exciting as it has been in previous years, but that's because we had that AI arena that felt the same, kind of
Oh
energy for
yeah.
a long time in the beginning of the season. So maybe that's kind of worn this out just a tiny bit. Also the fact that they always know when it's going to happen. They don't even fake pretend to be
Right.
surprised.
They were planning for it all week.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean,
that's what you love on the other side on AU is they'll be like double
it's going to
eviction, and then the next week they're like the person you voted out is coming back, and
right.
then they'll be
Right.
like, here's another double eviction.
Chaos agents, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, yes, it is exciting, and I don't have a problem with them knowing that there's gonna be a double eviction in the game. I guess it's just part of the fun of the double eviction is that everything happens so fast, and you know that it's gonna be there. And so in the back of your head, you kind of have like a loose plan of what would
Like
I
an A, B,
do?
and C, if
Yeah,
depending on who wins
Well,
the
clearly
HOH.
Chelsea had her plan. She knew where she was going.
but this year, because they knew it was going to be HOH at this week,
They all knew, yeah.
yeah, it becomes a little bit too plotted, a little bit less chaotic, and a little bit less exciting. Especially if you're a feed watcher, because you kind of already know, short of which one's going to be the HOH, but when you have an alliance of 3 or 4 people, odds are it's going to be this alliance that gets HOH, and this is who's going. So
Mhm.
it's a little less thrilling.
Yeah, but this week I think was surprising only because I thought for sure Chelsea was going to just go for the jugular and get MJ out.
I really felt Mackenzie was going to be up there too.
I figured she would be too.
That was a
'cause it
game
seems like-
move.
It seems like it's usually the previous HOH that people are so hot on still, they're just ready to burn
Well,
them.
you got Angela out and you
But
get
only if
MJ
somebody from the
out.
other side
You've gotten
wins.
everyone who can win
That's what I'm
a
saying.
challenge out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Chemo can't
Do
win
you
anything.
think-
Rabina can't win anything.
Do you think that Chelsea didn't put MJ up because she would lose Cam then?
I don't think so. No, I don't. I think
even Cam was kind of like not protecting MJ surprisingly this week, like MJ's decision. So I mean, he was and he wasn't. He was wishy-washy.
I don't know. I just wonder, like, you're right. By MJ should have been the one to go because at that point, Chelsea can pretty much beat any of them, right?
Right. No, I mean, literally at that moment, her up against anyone, she wins.
Well,
yeah.
Right.
And I'm wondering if maybe the only thing that this is the only thing I can think of what she was doing. Like, if we're trying to think of what is the strategy in this, is that if she's HOH, she puts up Mackenzie, and let's say Mackenzie does not go home. Chelsea can't compete in the next HOH, but Mackenzie can. And I think maybe Chelsea was just trying to protect her inability to.
Okay, that's actually a good point. I'm gonna concede that because that is really a good point.
And she probably thought that there was a better chance of Mackenzie saving herself than there would have been Angela. So
well, and not knowing what the veto is, that was a fair bet, right?
But I mean, even though when you have the veto and Chemo's won it, and he goes to her and says, "Should I play it?" That drove me crazy. I don't know, Chemo. Do you want to sit on the block during a double eviction? Should you play your veto on yourself? Oh my God. Okay, you're a sweet guy.
And
But that's the dumbest thing.
What's up with Chelsea asking if he's okay with who she's going to put up? What does she care if he's okay with it?
Yeah,
Is she just pretending to care?
Yeah,
Like,
probably. Probably.
Well, what if he would have said absolutely not? Don't put her up. Then she would have been in a bad spot.
Yeah,
that made no sense to me.
I guess one of the reasons why double eviction historically has been fun is because yes, it's chaotic, it's fast paced. You get the players like Angela, like I said last week, if you're going to get Angela out, a double eviction time is a great time to get her out because you don't have to watch her have a meltdown for a week.
Ooh, but she was like
she just
stone.
goes.
She just sat there.
She knew.
It was
but
she didn't budge.
Did anyone else's heart melt just a little bit towards her with her exit interview with Julie? I thought she did really well.
Oh no, I
thought she was cringier.
Committed.
Huh?
I wanted to have her committed.
See, isn't that funny?
Okay. Yeah.
You think she's
No,
that
that felt to me like the most authentic she was all season.
Yes,
Oh, I couldn't handle it.
authentically
Crazy.
cuckoo Cocoa Puffs.
Well, yeah.
And did you see her about break Julie with the hug? I was
Yeah.
really worried there for a minute. I thought any
Okay, I'm
second there's gonna
sorry,
be like stagehand rush the stage and pull her off or
but
something.
I about died when she walks to the front of the stage. She doesn't give her a hug and then sit in the chair. The woman literally
Oh,
walks to the front of the stage
for the
and
applause.
takes in the applause. I'm like,
And
that's
she
Oh,
isn't the
so
first one to do that.
okay. But
it
the
was
only
it
other
was real
people that
weird.
have performed to that audacity have been like the Mike Boogies, you know? Like,
Right when and also right when she was walking out the door and she grabs Kimo, she's like, no. And you're like,
yeah, what is that? Oh my
and
god.
then when she was like, would you taken who'd you take? I would taken Chemo. Chemo. She was like no snappy.
And that
And it was
blows
like,
my
why?
mind.
Because he's my boy. No, he's not.
No,
No,
she
he's
should have said
not.
the honest thing, which is he can't win because he hasn't done anything.
Yes.
Wow. No, she was so like another level
Well, she
out
just had
there.
like no harm
You know
meant
what
to,
it was?
no harm meant to anybody who has a struggle with any sort of mental health. But
No, I don't know if it was no, here's
she
what I
was
think was
a
going on.
level of
Think about this for a second. When she went out on stage in front of the live audience, she acted like she did that first week or so inside the house. I wonder if that's her nerves,
do you
right?
think
She
that's
kind
like
of
her
like
masking? Is that
I
like
know I
her,
think that's her nervous energy. Like
yeah.
she's so like over the top. When they hugged her before she went out, like her, you could hear it in the microphone, like her, you could hear her
Heartbeat.
heartbeat, just like
Her just
she's probably
she
just
just
about to
like
stroke out.
yeah, like and her eyes just her eyes change. You know, when
Yeah,
she's like
and
stressing.
she seemed like day one Angela. So I think that that's maybe
Yeah.
that's what it is. That she was more comfortable in the house. She was less cuckoo. She was good, actually, just interact with
Because she
people.
did seem like she was like her energy
Yeah,
was calming, like it
yeah, yeah, yeah.
you make a good
But
point.
no, she came out and she was like,
But she was
she was
like
just
yelling at Julie and like
yes.
not
It
letting
was over
Julie
the.
finish
I didn't
doing
think she was yelling at
She was about
Julie.
to
She
call
was
her
just
crazy eyes.
hyped up.
well, she was still yelling. She was yelling over the top of Julie's sentences. Yeah, she was wired like and maybe that's just how she was pumping herself up to deal with it because it's clear her heart was broken. You know that she was just crestfallen about being sent out. But
Maybe.
Yeah,
maybe that's just how she coped
I
with it.
mean,
But holy Moses.
when Leah went when Leah went to do her goodbye speech, or her not her goodbye speech, the one that they do to they're pleased to
Yeah.
stay.
Mhm.
Oh, she had such a hard time with the words. And you could tell it's because this is live TV and she hasn't really had to
Right.
speak
Mhm.
on live TV. And yeah, she was really nervous as
Well, you got all
well.
the everybody
But
sitting there, looking at you, and then
yeah,
like the
the
words that
whole world's about
you
to see you get
yeah,
yeah.
and the words that you're saying is you have some little grain of hope in your head that I can say the right words in the right order, and it will convince somebody.
And the magic will swirl out of my mouth and they will
Yeah,
listen
I'm
and
gonna be able to
no.
convince them. And so you put all of this, onto yourself and your nerves and then the live TV and I mean, yeah,
I
I'm
like the
sure.
ones who kind of go, "You're gonna do what you're gonna do, so no worries. Let's sit down."
Yeah. Or the
And
ones
they
that are
got to
like,
stop the shout outs. I'm so sick of the damn shout outs. I don't care
I
about Kim or Brud
yeah,
or the people you're
any
It's
missing.
almost it's
any of
almost to the
the
point that I zone out
any of
during
the
that
boys
whole
from the
voting
crib, yeah.
part.
Yeah.
I really do miss the the speeches of like, hey, you know what? Like you got to do what's right for your game. But you've got this person doing this, and
Yeah, and
this.
nobody
Yes.
does it anymore. They all want to talk about how much
Why?
they love each other.
Mhm. Yeah,
Which that's fine. You can still love each other and be friends and go, but this person right here, they're doing a good
I'd
job.
be
yep,
like, I knew
You
your
guys
yep.
are all
buttheads.
listening to
I knew
them.
your buttheads for 40 days. Let me tell you what's really going on in the house.
Right.
You guys can do
Yes,
what you want, but here's what's going to happen when I leave.
yes,
Yeah, but
yes,
with our luck,
definitely.
with our luck, the person who would say that, here's what's really happened, would be so clueless. Like that would be
Right.
happening.
No, people. I mean,
And they'd be
people have
like,
done that a lot of times, right?
But I
Said
feel
no.
this is.
like I kind of feel that is the person or the player that both Tucker and Quinn wanted to be.
And neither
Mhm.
one were even
and they
close.
couldn't quite do it in
You
the
know what?
right
You know what?
way.
Maybe even Joseph imagined himself that way, but
Yeah, but he's not.
it
Oh my
wasn't
God.
to be
Joseph
for
just
what he
needs
Bless
a
your
did.
date with
heart,
a razor.
Joseph.
Get rid of that. Get rid of that mustache, dude.
The mustache might be weighing him down. I mean, it might. Also, Leah was very excited to get to the jury house to see Quinn. Is it just because she
Okay.
wants a friend?
Maybe.
Because, I mean, I don't think she wants more than a friend.
Well, maybe she's going to throw him a little, something. She's bored. It's been a bunch of days.
Maybe. Well,
Will
lucky
we
Quinn.
get Dr. Will? Will we get Dr. Will next week or the
Oh,
week will be?
I would imagine we get him the week after next.
And this is his
Oh,
last
okay.
year, right?
I don't know. Is it? Did he announce his
I
He's
thought
gonna
there's
put
been a
it
lot
on
of
the
talk about who's
retirement?
going to. There's been a lot of chat about who's going to replace him on Twitter. So I
Oh, I
assumed.
didn't know. Taylor would be an excellent choice. I think Taylor would be a great choice for that.
Taylor,
Yeah, they were
female
talking
Taylor,
about
not
Josh.
curly-haired surfer Taylor.
No, not
Yeah.
that fella.
Okay.
No. No, I think
That was
Taylor would
Tyler.
be.
Sorry.
Yeah, Tyler. I think Taylor would be
Sorry.
really great because Taylor would say, "All right, you make a good point," but she'd call people out on their goofy ideas too. And
Yeah.
I think she'd be a good one for it. I'm gonna chuck my name right next to there, and I vote for Taylor.
She'd be good for the Julie spot too, but whatever.
Yeah, I mean, who knew Jared Connell was gonna be good for the Julie spot? But here we are.
I didn't mind him. So yeah, interesting
Yeah.
week.
It was
It
a
always
weird.
seems like on a double eviction, the second eviction always seems to be somebody that I don't want to see leave yet.
Yeah, yeah,
It's always they take their shot at the
that's
big
true.
player.
Yeah,
But not this time.
yeah.
No,
And
you don't think so?
No, they
It should have
took
been
the shot
McKenzie.
at the one person other than Chemo
Who's
who could
won the
win.
most things of the people that were
Yeah.
in
Couldn't
the
have
Honestly,
won, had
Yeah.
no votes.
the best.
Angela
She's
could
won
not
the
have
most
won.
competitions. But
Yeah.
she kept winning competitions
She
and
had
saving
knew it.
herself.
Mackenzie had won more than her.
No, if we
Not
would have put,
HOHs.
if we
Mackenzie
would've
had
put-
4 wins, she had 3. And 2 of the wins they gave her because no one
If-
else wanted to win it.
If
How many
Chelsea,
times has Mackenzie been to HOH?
I don't know. She's got 4 wins. They put it on. It was on the graphic on the show.
had vetoes, right? She's won one eight.
Yeah, she's won a bunch of vetoes.
I think she's won one HOH. Anyway, I think that if Chelsea would have made a baller move, the 2 people up on there would have been Mackenzie and Angela. They just would have been, because then that way it's a threat either way going home. And you could say there are different levels of threat. We can disagree. We can agree.
No,
we can
no.
disagree.
I thought that's what
But-
was coming.
But
I
to
was.
put
Yeah.
Chemo, it's just come on, keep Chemo off the block at this point, guys. Jeez,
I mean,
just bring him to the final 2.
Unless
But-
she feels like she's keeping Mackenzie's vote somehow.
It's got to be just this. It has to be the instinct to protect herself on the next HOH. I cannot fathom there be any other real, actual.
Because my
strategic
thought that
reason.
Cam is going to step up and win out, that's gone.
Yeah.
That's gone. I'd like to point out, I do have
buddy.
I do have the last
I
winner's
know,
pick
and
standing,
he needs
but
to go.
but he's
needs
not
to go.
going to win. Well, no, he could
Then all
win.
you're doing is
If
well-
somehow he ends up sitting next to Chemo or Rabina, he wins.
I think that
I don't-
Chemo might
I don't
actually
think
have
Chemo's
a
not
chance to
winning.
beat him.
Oh, I'm
Oh.
going to make a graphic right now.
I think Chemo could beat Cam. Rubina, no, but I think Chemo could because
based on
he's had to do all of the pawning, and because all the people in jury are his friend, except for maybe 1 or 2 people would go to Cam. Maybe I think Chemo could beat against Cam.
No,
Not
because
Rabina,
MJ would vote for him. Chelsea would vote for him. Quinn would vote for him. So that's 3 votes right there. You're almost
No,
there.
I don't think Quinn would vote for Cam. He would vote for Chemo.
He's not going to vote for Chemo.
Yeah, he would.
No, he's too big a fan
would
of the
be
game
for-
to put a floater like that in the winner's seat.
Yeah, I think Chemo would win it over Cam.
Although I think right now I have to concede that Cam's a pretty big floater too.
Yeah, he's
the
literally-
biggest.
He's
Well, I
literally
wouldn't say the
not-
biggest, but
Other than
Right
being a
now, he's
number,
the biggest floater.
But seriously, other than being a number, what has he done to have more gameplay than Chemo?
well, the only thing he's done is he's the biggest physical threat in the house, and he's not on the block every week,
He's
which
not
he
the
should
biggest
be.
physical threat. He
He's
hasn't
not
won
the-
jack
he-
shit.
But that's my point. Is he's a big dude who should be winning competitions, and he's
Yeah.
not.
That's just it.
Now,
But Chemo has
whether he's trying or not, he hasn't had to worry about it because his name's in nobody's mouth.
Yeah, I don't think that'll give him the win.
I don't think he's going to win, but he'd win over Chemo and he'd win over Rabina.
I need him
I
to
don't
go
know.
home next week, so
Angela
when Chelsea wins, I
make
can
sure
win.
Chemo won. Angela, that's Angela's boy, David. That's Angela's boy.
Well, that should tell you all you need to know
He's
right
gonna
there.
take it. He's gonna win it. That's T-Core's boy. He's gonna take it over Cam. Period. Nobody else. There's nobody else like out of those three, But Mackenzie, Chelsea,
Mackenzie or Chelsea,
if they're at the end together,
unless they're together, they win. Either one of them with any of the other
absolutely,
players.
yeah.
Together, it's a pretty close call.
Mm-hmm.
I think Chelsea might be able to sell her control in the game better than Mackenzie.
I think she could, but I also think I think there's more people butthurt at Chelsea than there is at Mackenzie.
That might be true.
So, like I said, to me, it's a coin flip. I don't have a strong feeling on who'd win out, but
I right now, I definitely feel Chelsea's got the game in the bag at this point. She made it past double eviction. She's won.
Well, it depends on who wins HOH.
Yeah, Chelsea was still.
I think it's nepotism. Her auntie's letting her win.
Okay, what would have happened? I'd like to hear your opinion on this because Angela was
Nepo baby.
pretty freaking close to being the second HOH.
Yes, she was.
Well, yeah, she was.
Okay,
She
so let's
was.
say
If she
let's
had
just
won-
say if she had won, what does she do?
She would.
What
Put
do you
up
think she
Chelsea
would have
Mackenzie.
done?
Chelsea Mackenzie. She's already talked about it. Chelsea Mackenzie would have gone up. Chelsea didn't
You
make
think?
a bad move targeting Angela because she was gonna target Chelsea. But yeah, it would have absolutely.
Well, and I got to say, if she'd have put up Chelsea Mackenzie and sent one of them home, she would have had a resume that could have won.
Yeah, it was going to be one.
That would have been enough.
If she put up Chelsea and Mackenzie, though, I think Chelsea goes home because
Mackenzie would win
Mackenzie-
off.
Or sorry,
Then she puts
Mackenzie-
Cam up.
No, if they were both up there at the end without veto or whatever, they're at the final to the vote. I think that Mackenzie would have gone because Rabina somehow thinks that her and Chelsea are tight.
Yeah, that is a thing. Robina thinks that she's like tight with everyone except for Leah.
Well,
Like, that's a little
now
bit-
Leah's gone, so now what?
I guess. I think, well, if you would think about, okay, if she would have put Chelsea and Mackenzie up and we were playing the same veto competition and we were based off of how they performed in that veto competition, Angela or Kima would have won the veto, which means that Mackenzie and Chelsea would have both stayed on the block.
Yeah, because Kimo wasn't going to pull either of them off, right? He'd be like, oh, this is
Right.
good.
Right.
Good noms.
So who would have stayed and who would have gone?
I think Chelsea would have stayed.
It's hard to say. No, I think Chelsea goes home.
You think so?
Yeah.
I think
I
it
think
depends on how they vote.
that's a
Yeah,
tough-
because I think everybody in the house knew that MJ sent Lee home because Chelsea was behind it. That wasn't a big
Yeah,
secret.
I think that Chemo would have saved Mackenzie.
Yeah.
Cam,
I mean,
Cam is
yeah.
Cam would have been the defining one, but I think maybe he would he have saved? Oh, I don't know. If he would have saved Mackenzie over Chelsea.
No, I think he would have
No.
tried to save Chelsea, but I think once he realized he didn't have the votes, he would have crossed over.
Yeah, he does not like to stand by himself.
See,
Right.
and I think Rabina would have wanted to keep Chelsea, and she might have. Look, Chemo's not a great player. She might have talked Chemo into it. Like, let's save Chelsea. She'll work with us
Yeah, she would have done
To get
whatever
Angela-
Chemo said.
to get Angela out.
Whatever Chemo said is probably what Rubina would have done. Because it feels like
Yes.
T-Core ruled that trio, and now she's gone. So now Chemo's like the impromptu boss of the duo. I guess it's a duo now. Yeah, I don't know. But we got to watch a very crazy goodbye, and you know, you know what? Angela got to say to be kind to one another. She got to say it right along with Julie. I'm sure that was
Yeah.
a bucket list.
I'm just saying that was good TV. It was
Sure.
maybe she was whacked out, but it was good TV.
She had a lot of enthusiasm.
It was
really
certainly
meant something.
better than somebody going out going, I love them all. I love them. I'm going to be friends with them when I'm out of the house. No, you're not. You're not going to ever talk to them again in 3 months. Shut up.
No, they're
I
going
want
to
him to
go
come
on
out
a
and be like,
touring
I hate them.
circuit. They're going to go on a
Those
touring
people are.
circuit with them for a while.
That's
And
Well,
true.
we haven't had one of those in a while where they come out and go, I
Ugh,
hate all of them. I'm
they're
so
so
glad to be out.
annoying.
Yep.
There's
Yeah.
never an evil dick around when you need one.
I do think that I kind of miss when we would get the surprise second double eviction. There's not enough cast members for that. That usually happens when somebody is back in the game or
No, because we're at 5 now, right?
yeah, they won't be doing
So
that.
next week goes to 4, and the week after is the finale, right?
Yeah. So
Can you guys believe it?
it's
We're so
almost
close.
there. It's almost there. So, okay. Now, I know this isn't directly Big Brother, but I have to ask because I'm sure that if you've been watching any of the commercials that have been happening during Big Brother, we have that new show, The Summit, coming
Yep.
out.
It gives me anxiety. I don't like heights.
Yeah.
They have to be physical. They can't be wussies, David. You should be up your alley.
Yeah.
And the
It's true.
host sounds like he's from New Zealand.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, where they do.
Well, no, I'll watch it. I think I'm going to watch
They're
it, but
tougher down under.
I'm saying it's not one I'm going to be able to picture myself playing. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Oh,
Because literally,
What?
I
I
would
don't
just
know.
sit
We'll
there
see.
and look at the sheer drop and just cry.
No.
I would sit on the ground and cry.
I'm very
We'll see.
curious about it. And the reason why I brought it up is because I would like, if there is anybody that listening that does follow us on our Facebook page,
Yeah.
put something in there if you're going to be watching it or not. If we feel like there's going to be
Yeah.
enough people watching it, we might, pop in and do a review on it or something.
Yeah,
I mean,
that'd
it's
be
an
cool.
interesting concept because it's almost like how we expected Survivor to be.
Yeah. Well, and how
Survivor was before it got Jeffified.
And we have said so many times, why don't they go to a colder climate? Why does it always have to be the
Right.
beach? So I kind of, so for those reasons, I just want to see how it plays out. Want to see what happens. People get real crabby when they're cold.
And you don't have to do something where your individual like your actual challenges isn't separate. It's like actually just part of the survival.
Yeah, right.
Interesting concept. So
your challenge today is to eat.
Yeah.
Good luck.
I mean, your endurance competition today is going to be like scaling this sheer wall of ice.
Yeah, right.
Don't die. That's why we had you sign the contract. So, anyway, I just wanted to touch on that if you guys had thought
I'm going to guess that Angela couldn't be on that show. It might be the one CBS show she can't get on.
I would think she's not going to get to be the CBS plant on that one.
No.
Probably not.
Dang it.
But
For the record, I'm not buying the conspiracy theory.
If it is successful, I would say that, a season or two in, we will see a familiar face or two.
Oh, yeah. I betcha.
That's how these things work.
Yeah. Boston Rob on the mountain.
I think his
mountain
days might be done.
No, he's only like 52, isn't he?
I don't know. He's done everything. Why not do this too?
No, the girls are almost grown. It's going to be his daughters we start seeing.
Right, it's true.
Him and Amber 2.0.
Amber, like
all four of
she was on twice and then never again, right?
Correct.
She like sort of disappeared.
She's just sitting at home. He hustles. She takes care of the kids. She was popping them out.
He's got a renovation
4.
show. He's got other reality competition shows. Yeah, he's running the whole circuit. She's doing her work and.
Hey, he's made a living at it. You got to give it up for the guy.
Yeah, I mean, that's his career.
Good for him.
Go for it. I would say that Sandra's done a similar thing, and there's a handful of them that really have made a career.
And Cherie has as well. Yeah.
Oh, Cherie for sure.
Yeah.
Cherie's like everywhere. If Cherie's not on the summit, I'll be shocked.
And Cherie's like, yeah, let's get my kids in here too.
She's gonna be in Samoa. She can't.
Right.
She's gonna be
not for this.
camping out with a bunch of Australians and.
Oh, is she on that? I didn't realize.
Yep.
Oh yeah, the world.
Because of course she is.
Yes. Duh. We can't miss out on that.
Meanwhile,
well, I mentioned Sandra's not on it, right? Because she's already been on it.
Yeah, she's not on it. So okay, well,
yeah, because which one would she play for? See,
yeah.
Now that you've been on Australian Survivor,
are you really, Sandra?
Yeah.
I think it's like her daughter could do it, I suppose, as an
Australian
player, which would be interesting, but that's not going to happen. That's not going to happen.
Feeling pretty good about my winner's pick, but I
Yeah.
know.
I
I'm
mean,
getting cam blocked.
Well, and here's the thing: unless they go together, Cam could find himself sitting second fiddle to a lot of people on the
oh, for
final.
sure. For sure. You really
Yep.
could.
So this year I predict we're all about to be losers.
Yeah, that's probably fair.
Yeah.
I haven't loved my winners pick since week 1, so it's not like I'm crowing about it.
You were like,
Like
on
like
paper?
when I had Xavier, I was like so excited all year because he was so good, but this
Right.
guy's not.
You felt like
For
you
that 1 year.
had it. And
That was a
and
good year.
you
It
got to
was a
have
good
all
year.
the like the Jag power all year like last season because he kept winning all the comps. So
Yep.
Kristi every week was reminded
That's true.
positive affirmation on her winner's pick. So
Yeah.
we can't all win every
We
single
cannot.
week. We just
We
can't.
cannot.
It's not
That's
how
weird. I had Quinn this year and I had Jag last year. I must like the guys with the really long hair.
you must.
Well,
You
you wouldn't have
know.
known Jag had long hair at the beginning.
That's what's under there.
They all have long hair. Every single person
Yeah,
that wears
that's
this.
the whole-
Really?
That's the whole
I didn't
point.
know that.
Yeah, they're-
Honestly, I didn't know that.
It's against the religion. They don't cut their hair. So that's
I didn't
but
didn't
they can't
understand
see it.
that. Okay.
Which is like it's this a really amazing like reverse feminism thing that I really love where like the guys can't cut their hair and they have to keep their hair protected and covered so no one can see it, like how they do it to the women in other cultures. I
Yeah.
kind of like that. Sorry.
Interesting.
Anyway.
Yeah, it's like an interesting spin on. It was really
That's
funny
right,
when
boy.
Well, I'm
you
glad I'm
hide
not that
yourself.
because they'd throw me out for not having hair.
they'd be like,
I
"No."
think they can't hold it against you. Then they wouldn't make you like
That's
wig
true.
up or something.
Would I still have to wear the thing?
But,
No,
but
they would
what
just
you have, where you
they would
have
just
it,
get
you
some
and Jack
lint.
both.
You
If you
just
like,
get
just
some.
Jack has no hair left at all.
Well,
does
you
he
could
not?
like.
He's
Well, no, he
because
shaves
he
off
does
whatever's left.
But you could, you
Right.
could like lick your and just lick the top of your head and put some lint on there.
Okay, I'm not going to lick the top of my head. I don't even know where you're going with this. This is
And put
very
some
weird.
lint.
All right, I think the Novocaine's gotten the better of her.
The Novocaine ain't doing nothing, baby. That's
I
nice.
don't know. You're doing good. Yeah, they would just
hang
like
on.
it would just look weird. Grow
Ladies,
everywhere
I
else.
think now is the time where we will pause for a 7-second commercial break beginning now.
Do you know where your children are tonight?
And look at that. We're back from our commercial break.
That was the best
So-
commercial voice ever, Kristi. Are you kidding me?
Sorry, that just made me think of like, oh, we have to pause for this. And I was thinking like a PSA or something, and it just
Yeah.
made me think of the ridiculous 1970s.
Because literally
It's
at
10
one
o'clock.
point
Do
you
you
just
know where
didn't
your
know where
children
your
are?
children were.
Because we had keys, they just thought we'd be fine.
Yeah, you got a key, right? You got a light.
Come
on your
home when
bike.
the streetlights come on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're fine. You're just fine,
We
guys.
us Gen Xers, we didn't have a lot of rules.
No, I mean I
And
literally,
the
Our
ones that we
parents,
had,
our
we
parents,
broke.
literally, as long as we didn't die, they didn't care what we were doing.
yeah, it was fine,
and-
right?
And honestly, David, the rules that we did have, we were so good at skirting them that they didn't even know we broke
but
them.
of course
we
the
broke
parents
them.
didn't
Everyone
care
tracked
enough to
us.
check up on us.
Yeah,
we were
They
just
couldn't track
that
it.
good.
we were wild. We were feral.
Yeah.
I mean, there was no
Yeah,
there
true
was no tiger moms in the Gen X time.
no,
No.
there was
No,
there
like
was kids out there,
occasionally,
like putting their fingers in light sockets and drinking from garden hoses. And
every once in a while, as a Gen Xer, you'd have a friend that was still had like traditional 1960s or 50s home where the mom was at home and they made cookies. Every once in a while, there'd be somebody's mom who did that. It was very rare for the Gen Xers, but they made good cookies.
most of us usually had like parents that were on swing shifts, so there was always one.
Yeah,
parent just
exactly.
The other one was gone. That's the time. That's the time to be alive. There was no way to record
no wonder-
anything we did.
No wonder they all got divorced. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they
And nobody had
They never-
phones.
They
Nope.
never saw
Well, that's
each
why
other.
they all got divorced, because no one ever got caught cheating because they didn't have a phone. So once you were out of the house, you were free to do whatever you want.
I mean,
So much trust. So much trust.
if you look at all these, movies from like the 70s and 80s, and there's a group of kids and they go on these crazy wild adventures that you'd never be able to do now because cell phones exist.
Right.
We were playing in the creek. You were doing what? No, nothing.
Nothing. I wasn't
Nothing.
The
playing
funny
in the
part is
irrigation
you
ditch.
get-
You're fine.
You'd get home, they never even asked where you were unless you were bleeding.
No. Nope.
It's like, did you have fun? Yep. Okay, great.
Okay. Good night.
They didn't care. They did not care.
No,
They had
they were
other things
busy
they were
with their
worried
own
about.
lives, and they're like, you're here, but you're an inconvenience a bit.
There you go. So, are they
Wow.
going to do an
Sorry.
HOH?
Wild tangent. Okay.
Do you think they're going to do an HOH comp tonight, or do you think they'll wait till?
Well, I've been watching, but there's still
I
some
refuse to
kitty
even
cats.
go there. I just want to apologize to all of our listeners for the false
Why you
information
got to
that
look at the
that the
numbers
Twitter gave
updates,
me.
man.
Right now, we got puppies.
All right. I figured we'd probably be
Well,
online.
if we have puppies, that means they're doing something.
They might be.
Oh yeah, they are. I bet I'm gonna guess it's an endurance.
It's got to be the
Because-
slip and slide, right?
No, because their backyard doesn't have enough stuff going on. Like, there's no way they have that set up because they were in the backyard for that comp tonight, weren't they?
Oh,
But I
maybe.
feel
Yeah.
like the way that one, the one for the
Yeah, it could have
moving the
just
ball
been in
thing?
front of it, and they could have just taken it down.
that
true.
yeah, I was gonna say that one's just this kind of the same setup with just lanes.
Yeah.
So that might be easy to turn around.
I'm surprised they wouldn't have
I
had
don't
that in
know.
the house. But yeah, it's totally possible we get the slip and slide.
Slip and slide's coming. It has to. It has to. It
But
It
they're
would
gonna
be
do
weird
something
if we
that
don't have it.
they're gonna do something that takes a long time because they did these quick rapid fire
Yes.
ones.
Yep.
And so
So
they'll
we
want
usually
something
get an
that
endurance after this.
Well, no, and that's kind of cool after the double eviction when everyone's mentally exhausted to throw the slip and slide.
oh yeah.
Well,
Mentally exhausted and
you'll know if it's the slip and slide the very second that feeds come back on because there will be ice packs and there will be knee braces. And
Oh no, and I do have to say this will be my biggest regret of the season because Angela on the slip and slide was going to be my vibe
oh yeah, it'd have been awesome.
because she'd have just been falling. She'd have probably
already-
broke a hip.
when
she
you were
would-
seeing
she
when
would have
she
been
was
all right.
sitting there,
But she
when she was
would
sitting
have been yelling a lot.
yeah, she would have. When she was sitting on the block though, did you see how bruised up her legs were?
No, I
She's
didn't.
been through it. Oh, she goes hard in those competitions
Yes,
apparently.
she does.
I was gonna say something else about her and it slipped
So
out on me.
Mackenzie
Sorry.
wins it, right?
Continue.
If it's the slip and well, maybe Rubina actually.
Nah,
Mc-
Rosita's got no
McKen-
coordination.
Ground. She's low to the ground.
Yeah, but there's no history of like low to the ground
smaller
people
people do
winning
good in this
particularly.
competition. Smaller
The
people do
shorties?
better. Yeah, because your center of gravity is a lot lower. That's a really
It
important
feels
part.
to me like that's a competition guys have won more than girls, but maybe I'm wrong about that. That's just my gut tells me that.
Yeah, but the center of gravity might be different on that too. You got to remember, Mackenzie's not tall. She is tall.
Yeah, she's
Yeah,
like 6
well-
foot, isn't she?
She's a
She's
monster.
like 6'4",
No, she's not.
6'2". She's like 6'2". She's taller than me. And
Is she really?
Yeah, I'm not 6 foot.
Yeah.
I know she's taller than me.
She said that the day of. She
You're
was
pretty tall.
She was really looking forward to having at least somebody in the house that was taller than her, and that was Crazy Eyes. But then he got sent home, so it's just her.
Yeah, she's very
Oh,
tall.
Kenny might have been her height as well, but he's Yeah.
So I guess it depends on. I don't know. I could see Rubina doing good on this one. I do think that her small stature would help.
Well, it's like you need some core muscles, you need good balance,
Mhm.
you need to be able to. You don't want your legs to burn out because if you want your calves to burn in, now 'cause
Well,
they
and
keep
Angela,
going and
is she
going.
like? What does she do? What is her sport? Is she volleyball?
I have no idea. I didn't know she had one.
She's 6'1". She's in
Yeah, but she
basketball.
plays a sport. I thought it was volleyball.
Angela does.
No,
I thought it was
MJ.
No, she's
MJ.
she's
yeah.
I think she's a basketball player.
I was gonna say
Really?
basketball. I was thinking,
Yeah. Yeah, she had 474 kills and 127 blocks.
Nice.
Oh.
Nice.
I
I'm done.
think
I'm done with women's basketball for the year.
I think that
But
I do think that Mackenzie will do really well, but I kind of feel like Rubina might
be like the dark horse.
Yeah, like she could slide down that without falling so many times. And honestly, they're all going to move about the same speed going back because of that soapy ramp. It's about who doesn't fall and have to start over on the way back down. I think that's where we're going to see it. I don't know. You know what? I don't have a lot of faith in Rowena for a lot of things in this game, but I'm going to throw that there's a possibility on this one.
Okay. Jamie gets Rabina. I'm going to take the field.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, Mackenzie, you know, yeah.
Well, no, I'll just take everyone else. I mean,
if it's not Rowena, it's going to be Mackenzie. There's nobody else.
I feel like it's going to be, we're going to have this situation now where the HOH is going to go Mackenzie, and then next week it'll be Chelsea.
Yep.
And it'll just keep, because
I hate
nobody
to
else.
say it, this is, we've entered this, this is always kind of a meh part basically of the game, I think anyway. And now,
I love this part. See, this is where we always disagree on this. I love when there's only a few people left.
No, it's not the few people. It's that they've already plotted out their course and it's boring. Like
Everything's kind of set.
Yeah, there's no more like swivels and turns and like, you know, like it's, and especially in groups like these, no one's undercutting anybody at this point on, you know. I mean, the reality is
this was
99.
It should have happened this week.
Yeah, 99.999% chance that this is going to cut down until you have Chelsea, Mackenzie, and Cam. And that's it. And that's what we got. And then the winner's going to
unless you're right about Rabina and she wins.
But that's why I'm like, I'm going to have a little hope for Rabina. I would enjoy
that.
If Rabina wins, you know who she puts up? MJ and Cam. For sure.
I hope so.
She'd keep Chelsea.
I don't know. The way these people play, she'd turn around and put Chemo and Cam up there. I don't have faith in that. I have faith that she could maybe do well in the slip and slide game. I do not have faith that she could be a gamer.
She's gonna finally form that female alliance so they can make it to the end.
You bet. You get it, girl. I don't know. There's no updates, and we're just basically going to be sliding. We got a 2-hour episode on Thursday next week.
Oh, is there?
Yes, so no Wednesday night. Right. 2 hours Thursday night. So is that because is Wednesday night the premiere of that summit?
I think.
Is that why?
I think it might be.
Oh, they probably put it in its slot up against Survivor.
Yeah.
That would make sense.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
that's what I would do if I was running the network.
That means we're going to be, what are we chiming in? Well, it starts at 7, so we're going to be an hour later than normal.
Yeah.
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 So we'll have to have a little bit of a late night discussion when Robina
bring your coffee
puts up Cam and Chemo. Oh, I like these guys, but they're just not it.
Come on, guys. It's all right. I mean, it's like sleepwalking through the game. Come on.
But yeah, we'll be here next week. Regardless,
sure.
There'll be something to talk. I mean, granted, there might be a little bit less to laugh out since we don't have Angela losing her mind on people.
Ooh, no more crying.
No Zingbot. We got all of our zings. We got the best zings out.
The zings were good this year.
The zings were brutal. The Zingbot took no prisoners this year.
He got Chelsea.
And Angela, everyone was fine, but Angela was really hit by hers. She sat there
because it was an 18-minute song about just sucking at this, you know.
They kept going, but you got a song. Yeah, but
it was like
at least she got a song. She was
I don't know if I was participating, that I'd be like, bring it on. To your worst, because you know this is why I'm here.
Well, the whole thing is pay attention because you might learn something about the other players that you didn't know from the things.
Yeah, and I felt like the Chelsea one wasn't just a really good burn, but it was sort of like a
she did not like that.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, but I loved the reactions. I loved how much people tried to stifle their laughs about certain things, but it was good fun. But we're not going to have any Zingbot here because we don't hide behind a robot to talk crap on each other. We just do it to each other's face. You could also join in if you wanted, I guess, if you felt so inclined to go to Tally the Votes on Facebook. And you could also find us in podcast format on iTunes, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, and other places where podcasts are found. There's not much left to this season, but if you want, you can like and subscribe, and that helps us out. That helps out Crazy Hank, keeps us going, makes us happy, and we're just nicer, funner people when we're happy. So
It makes us so excited.
And,
Yay.
and remember, if you're a Survivor fan, if you're not over Jeff Probst like I am, and you can still abide the show, Jamie and Colleen and Crazy Hank himself are doing the weekly Survivor podcast on this very same network.
If you go over to the Jay and Jack network on YouTube, it's the red logo, the whole enchilada. We just recorded this week's Survivor about 2 hours ago, and it severely went off the rails.
All right. Good times.
In a wonderful way. It was good fun. And we had a surprise guest pop up in the chat. So if you are a Survivor fan,
it's very, Kristi, very similar to what we had happen last year on AU.
Yes. So go check
where all of a sudden there was a contestant there in the chat.
Yeah.
Nice.
No, that might
not
be
the same one though.
Nope,
no.
Different one.
We still love you, Ferris.
We do.
We do.
All right, guys. Well, I guess we'll
see you next week.
A little less angelic, but
an hour later, an hour more tired, but we'll be here. So come and see us. Yeah.
And I'll just leave you with this. Angela can't win now. Love one another. I pressed the wrong button. Crap.
Again?
I pressed leave studio instead of end podcast.